We good? Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you guys for coming, our live audience, and everybody on Facebook and Instagram. I am Leah, and this is Biblio Bites.
And I'm Megan, and I'm excited you're all here.
Yes.
Today we're making something really fun. We're making French cheese puffs, and they have a fancy French name, and it's called gougère. And it means cheese puff. But they're really easy to make. Oh, guys, come on in. Yeah. We have samples. We'd love to have you. Yeah, come on in.
We're just getting started, so you guys haven't missed anything.
Yeah, come up here. Or you can sit in the back if you want to sit in the back. Anywhere you want. Come on in. So they're really fun to make. They're pretty easy. And we were kind of surprised how easy they are to make because it's this fancy French pastry. So anyone can do it.
Yeah, and they're super easy, so this is fun. The book we're using today is called Martha Stewart Appetizers. So this is full of lots of yummy different kinds of appetizers and everything. But we just found this one, like we said, called gougère.
And this is what they're going to look like in the end.
Yes.
So we'll get started. Do you guys like cheese?
Yeah.
I love cheese. Cheese is like my favorite thing ever.
Big fan.
Yeah, so this one has, the main cheese that it uses in the recipe is called Gruyere. Have you guys heard of that cheese before? I don't know if I'd ever tried it until this recipe. It's really like mild and it's a little salty, but it's kind of subtle. So
probably similar to like a Parmesan, but not as strong, maybe?
Yeah, kind of like that. So that's fun. There's also different variations of the recipe where you can use other cheeses like cheddar, love cheddar, and manchego is another one. So you could probably use lots of different cheeses. But for this one, we're going to be using Gruyere. But we first will start out by making our dough. So Leah is going to do that using the hot plate. And these are something that you're going to put in the oven to bake, but since we don't have an oven right here, we pre-baked them, but just keep that in mind.
Yes.
So to make the dough, we have to bring a few things to a boil. So it's going to be 1 cup of water. Pretty hot.
What do we need to do?
A stick of butter and then some salt. So here's a stick of butter. And
just put that all right in the pan.
1 teaspoon of salt. And so we have to bring it to a boil and it's all gonna melt.
So then we just get that all mixed in and wait for the butter to melt.
And then what we're gonna do is once that all melts, she's gonna stir it kind of consistently. And then I'm gonna add some flour, and then that's gonna be our dough that we use to make this. So I'll start getting the flour ready, but we wanna make sure and melt the butter and boil the water. Has anyone ever had like a cream puff before? No? Yes? They're kind of similar to this, where it's like puffed up dough, but there's like yummy sweet cream inside.
It's like a savory version. This one is like a savory version instead of that is like a sweet dessert type.
But that's kind of the main way I've had something like this before, is like a cream puff.
Yeah.
So this is kind of fun because it's like a savory version.
Yeah. So if you really like pastries or things like that, you could have it for dinner and dessert.
And I was talking to Raina before this, and she said you could probably even stuff them. So like a cream puff, you put cream in it. You could probably do that with this too. Like you could put jam in it if you wanted like a sweet and savory. Or come on in, guys.
Yeah, come on in.
Hi. You could, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You could probably even do like a cream cheese mixture and make it like kind of like a jalapeno poppers, kind of fill it with that. Hi. So I feel like that would be the same idea.
Yeah. So there's lots of possibilities, and there's lots of different variations of this recipe you can make. The one we're making is just that we have for you to try is just the general cheese puff, but there's also a mixed herb, lemon parsley, bacon cheddar, and manchego cumin. So those are all the ideas in here. And we brought a lemon, so we're gonna try making that one with you too, just to show you kind of how easy it is to personalize it. But it looks like Leah's water is boiling.
So we got just butter and water and salt in there.
And the butter's all melted. So we're gonna go ahead and add the flour. And it says remove from heat. Yeah, so we'll turn it off real quick and add the flour in. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. And then we'll mix that up really good.
And this is the dough, like I said. So it says in the cookbook that you're supposed to stir it until combined, and then once it's all combined, we're gonna put it on the heat again. We're gonna turn it up to medium, and the dough is supposed to pull away from the sides and leave kind of a film on the bottom of the pan.
So, and you'll see now that this dough is getting really thick. So it's definitely very thick now instead of the watery. All right.
So now that the flour is all combined, we'll turn the heat back to medium and just for a couple minutes to get it all combined even better. And then we're going to beat it with our mixer after that. So
I think I'm doing this wrong.
there you go.
In the medium?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about good. Yay.
So then this just kind of cooks a little bit and gets it hot, and then kind of just adds to the cooking process there. So.
And in the end, the way that we make them have this kind of shape is that we're gonna use a piping bag. Has anyone ever done that before, like for frosting or anything? Yeah. It's kind of fun to do. I haven't done very much with piping bags, but when we made this recipe yesterday, we got to try it, and it was really fun. So I think all of you guys could make this recipe.
Definitely. It's very easy, and it doesn't really take that much time. We felt like the longest bit of time that it even took was just baking. So, but it was not that bad.
Yeah. And if you want to check out this cookbook when we're done,
you can see the
Sorry.
No, you can see the texture changing in the dough as well. It's kind of just getting a little bit more sticky, I guess. It's a good way to put it.
I like it because it looks kind of like mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I love mashed potatoes.
All right.
I think you guys will like the way they taste too. They're pretty yummy.
Okay, what do you think?
Okay.
That's right?
Yeah, I think it looks good. So as long as it's pulling away from the pan, and it is best to use a nonstick pan. This one I don't think is, because our hot plate specifically works with this pan.
Yeah.
But when we made the other ones at home, we used a nonstick pan, and that worked really well because
Definitely.
you don't want the dough to stick.
Then we just pour that, put that right into our mixing bowl, right in there, and then we can switch here.
So then we're gonna beat the dough with a mixer. And if you have like a big mixer, you could use something like that, but we thought this would just be easy. So we're gonna beat it on medium just for like a minute for it to cool a little bit. So I'm gonna do that.
And it definitely gets a bit messy. You guys might be in the splash zone up here.
Okay, so that's mostly just to cool it down, but it does totally have a different texture. But we're gonna add eggs in and kind of give it back that dough texture.
And I assume the biggest reason for this is because if you put egg into a hot batter, it'll kind of cook the egg, and then it won't be the right texture and it won't work right. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and so
Not
the
completely,
mixing,
just a little bit. Yeah.
the mixing helps it kind of cool down and separate. So.
And then
Yeah.
we're gonna add 4 eggs, and we're gonna just do them one at a time. And so we'll crack one, let it mix, and then we'll crack the next one. Yeah, you think it's a good idea? Oh, good.
Do you like to cook? Do you help your mom cook at home? No. Well, I'm glad you're excited anyway. No. Well, I'm glad you're excited now.
Maybe you can learn to cook. It's never too late to learn.
Okay.
All right,
There's
so
the
then
first one.
Once it's all mixed in, you can do your next one.
Woo! And it is kind of a thick dough. So at some point you might have to kind of pull it off of the mixer because at one point yesterday my mixer was like slowing down because it is a thick dough.
And as you can see, it definitely changes the consistency of that dough every time you add another egg. So
Yeah, now it looks more kind of like
Yeah.
a dough, yeah. Okay, last egg?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Okay. So the finished dough looks kind of like this.
And it did give the tip of how you know is if you touch it, it'll like kind of form strings like that. So if you're doing that, then it's the right consistency. Then you've got it right. And then the next step, we've got, oh, did you have it back there? Right here.
I'm just getting a new glove because I got batter all over my other glove.
So this is going to be our piping bag. So we're going to put the dough in here.
I think, do we have to add cheese?
Oh, you're right. I almost forgot our
We
cheese.
can't forget the cheese.
Can't forget
So
the cheese.
this is just a cup of the Gruyere cheese, like I mentioned. So if I can open it with my gloves, that would be helpful. So we're just gonna pour that in there, and it's supposed to be finely shredded, so we shredded it all beforehand. And then I'll just mix it in with a wooden spoon.
No, this one is the
It's called Gruyere.
Gruyere cheese. Yeah.
And we just got everything at Fry's, so you can get all these ingredients easily, just so you know.
And then I think this is done for that, right? But then I think we have to add the other ones.
So yeah, if you want to just do the simple recipe, which is the ones that we're gonna have you guys try, it ends right there, and you put it in the piping bag. But we're gonna try one of the mix-ins. So it just takes, we're gonna try the lemon and parsley. So at this point, you just mix in whatever you want. So I'm putting in the fresh parsley.
And this is going to be for the lemon zest.
And you just zest one lemon. But this is also the time where if you wanted to add bacon, you could add bacon. You want to add cheddar cheese. You want to add lots of different fresh herbs, or it suggests manchego cheese and cumin. So anything that you like that you think would taste good with the cheese. I think the bacon is a good idea.
Yeah, I think the bacon and cheddar would be really yummy. But you can, like we said, just create your own even. You can make it whatever you want. There's no rules.
I feel like you could even put like little pieces of ham if you wanted to make it kind of breakfasty, or I don't know, just about anything would probably be good. So it smells really fresh and lemony, so I like that.
Yeah.
When we were practicing yesterday to make these for you guys, I have a little puppy, and we were using the mixer, and she's really scared of all sounds, and so we kept using the mixer, and she kept barking at us. So I was nice that you guys didn't bark at me when I did it right now.
Should have put a sign, no barking allowed.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so then I'm just gonna mix that in. And then the fun part is putting it in the piping bag, and we're gonna pipe it onto our baking sheet and just kind of show you how to do that. And Leah has a fun trick.
Yeah,
with
actually,
the
Miss Stephanie showed me
piping
the
bag.
fun trick. So you put the piping tip into the bottom, and then all you have to do is take your scissors and just run it along the edge of that. And then that should pull right off, if I did it right. Yep, there it is. And that comes right off. I think I didn't do it quite right, but, and then it's perfect fit.
And you can use just like a Ziploc bag, but piping bags are way better.
Way better. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
If you don't have any, that's fine. The Ziploc works. I've done it many times, but.
And you can just cut the tip off a Ziploc bag and use it.
But honestly, it works so easy to do it this way.
And the piping tip makes it a lot easier too. So this is kind of a two-person job though, we discovered yesterday. Because you have to have someone hold open the bag and someone scoop it in.
Pull it more.
Oh,
Oops, sorry.
Sorry.
Shouldn't have done that right in the middle of that.
And the recipe says that it's supposed to make about 48 puffs, but I wish they were cookies. They're a little bit different than cookies, but they're kind of like cookies. They're gonna be puffed up. I think you'll like them.
I don't think we got quite that many, right?
No, we got like about half that because I think we made them a little
really
bigger.
big, yeah.
But you know, you can do whatever you want. You can make them big, you can make them small, and they still puffed up for us, so shouldn't be a problem.
Coming up the bottom.
Whoa. Okay, so there is our piping bag, and then you just get a cookie sheet, and we lined it with parchment paper. And we're gonna pipe it onto there, and Leah will show you her technique.
So you wanna hold the back of it so you're not squeezing out the other end, of course. And then, twist it. Yeah, twist the bottom is what I usually do. And then you just wanna make little bits kind of like that.
Looks kind of like a little rose
Yeah.
or something. And this piping tip looks kind of like a rose tip. But if you have just one that's like a circle, that will work too. And when they bake, they puff up and look a little different, so.
And again, you can make them as big or as little as you want. It doesn't really matter or make a difference.
But it's pretty fun. I was like, can I do this? I don't know. And Leah let me try. And it was pretty easy. I think, you know, anybody can do it. And we think it works best when you go in the circular motion like that. But honestly, if you just like plopped out a little mound, that would probably work too.
Yeah, you could do it.
So don't be afraid of the
do it like that.
piping bag.
And that would work? You want to do
Yeah. Yeah, I want to do it. It's pretty fun. Yay.
And then while she's working on that, the other part to this is we're going to do a little egg wash. So we're going to do 1 egg in our other bowl here.
And then it's just 1 tablespoon of water. And the reason you put an egg wash on something is so that it gets like more brown on the top. So we want these to be a little bit crispy. So we're going to put that on top.
We said tablespoon, right?
Mm-hmm. And I do like the way these look with the fresh herbs in there.
I know,
they have
look
the
really
little
pretty.
speckles of green, and it's pretty cute.
So then with the water and the egg, and then you just mix it together really good. Just mix it all up.
And we have a little brush, so we're just gonna brush it on top. But if you don't have a brush, you can just use like a spoon and kind of spoon it on top and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fit as many as I can, so. I'm making some little tiny ones.
And
too.
then one thing that's is fun about this that you can do as well is if you want to make a bunch of them or something like that, but you're not going to eat them all, you can freeze them like it is right now, and then just put them in the freezer, and then when you're ready, you can take them out and bake them. So that was another tip the cookbook had.
Yeah, it says they can transfer to resealable bags and freeze up to 3 weeks. So that's a pretty long time. And then you can just put them in the oven, and they're ready to go.
And then, yeah, you just brush it on, kind of like that. And then they are ready for baking or freezing. Yeah.
So, yeah, all you do after this is that you put them in the oven to bake, and it's about 20 to 25 minutes. And then one trick at the end is that it suggests you open up the oven a little bit at the end, and that is so that the steam will release out of the oven and they get a little extra crispy. So we did do that and thought it was kind of an interesting trick.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then this is what they are going to look like after they're baked. They're just little puffs, and they taste like cheese. So you guys are all welcome to come up here and try one, and you can come and look at what they look like right before they go in the oven too, so you can maybe go home and make them yourselves. So, yay!
Yes.
Thank you all for coming.
Yes, thank you so much.
And come get a sample.
Yes, and thank you for tuning in on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.